large areas of crops and nature reserves and open brush areas were burned. And some Israeli communities in the area were even threatened. People had to evacuate homes in a couple of incidents. Teasing Israel even, like, why are you afraid of children's toys, of a kite? And making Israel seem absurd. But as is almost always the case in such scenarios, the people trying to call out Israel are deliberately ignoring important context. Hey, I'm Ryan Jones in Jerusalem for Israel Today. Let's get into it. Today I want to talk about the issue of kite terrorism from the Gaza Strip. Now, over the past 48 hours, a number of kites, flying kites, have crossed the border from Gaza into southern Israel. The Israeli government and Israeli authorities have made a big deal about this and threatened military reprisals over the kites. Now, on the surface and in a vacuum, that sounds kind of ridiculous, and the Palestinians and their supporters are playing it up that way. They're teasing Israel even, like, why are you afraid of children's toys, of a kite? And making Israel seem absurd. But as is almost always the case in such scenarios, after such incidents, the people trying to call out Israel are deliberately ignoring important context. The kites are not a new thing. The kite, what is known as kite terrorism, dates back to 2018. Now, back then, Hamas was organizing regular mass marches on the Gaza border, where thousands and thousands of Palestinians, backed by armed Hamas gunmen, were confronting Israeli soldiers during certain periods on a daily basis. Now, in the midst of this, they came up with a new tactic, flying clusters of balloons, children's balloons, or kites, flying kites, a children's kite, over the border into southern Israel, carrying either burning fuel, burning charcoal, and even firebombs, Molotov cocktail type firebombs, and then dropping these near or on Israeli communities. Now, to bring up some numbers so that we get an idea of the context, why Israel is concerned about this today, at that time, large areas of crops and nature reserves and open brush areas were burned. And some Israeli communities in the area were even threatened. People had to evacuate homes in a couple of incidents. To bring up some numbers, during that time, from 2018 until 2022, 4,000 to 4,500 acres of protected environmental areas were burned by these Palestinian kites. 4,000 to 5,000 acres of agricultural fields were burned, and over 2,600 acres of forest were burned. So that's a total area of about 40 square kilometers. To put that in perspective, that's the size of the city of Oxford in England, or about half the size of the city of Paris. That much land was burned by Palestinian kites and balloon clusters. So it's not nothing. It's not a silly thing for Israel to be concerned about. It has happened before, and it was quite serious. It caused significant damage. More than that, these kites appearing now for Israelis mark a return to a daily routine of low-level terrorism. Now, the problem is that Israelis now recognize that as a prelude to something much more serious. So remember the important context when the media brings up a few kites from Gaza and what seems like an overreaction by Israel. Thanks for joining me. Stay tuned.